Hey guys, sorry I'm a minute late or so. I had some difficulties actually finding where to get onto the video once it was scheduled for live. So, oh hey Yoko, hi. All right. So anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and get started because I feel like probably a lot of people, maybe, well, not a lot, my massive viewership, but people will probably watch this later, even though it's being recorded live now. So I'm just going to go ahead and hop into it. So basically what I'm going to do with this particular video is it's not going to be like an AMSR or necessarily like me sending you like the Reiki healing energy, although we're doing a little something at the end that might be kind of useful. But this is more of a quick, well, it's me, so it's not that quick, but a thing about how to do what I call a brain power wash, okay? So it's basically like a technique that I just do for myself. Oh, let me turn off my fan. That's probably annoying. Okay, hold on. There we go. A technique that I do for myself where I combine visualization, meditation, and Reiki, okay? And it's basically because I feel like my brain a lot of times has a lot of clutter, a lot of negative type situations going on that I can very quickly just kind of get into my head and start dwelling on things, and then that sends me down another long path of just miscellaneous junk. So, and all of that is stockpiled in our brain. So the idea came to me last week, and when I was on vacation, sitting looking at the beach and all those good things, and I was thinking about how I could power wash like my brain. so that's how I kind of came up with this. So basically, we're going to be working with chi, or whatever you want to call it, the universal kind of energy, life force, right? Just think of it in a sense. If you have a hard time with that, I always remind myself the air that we breathe, we cannot see. We can feel it, we know it's there, we can't see it, but it is there. So it's the same with the universal energy that is, we call it inside of us, but it's not really inside of us because there is no limitation. It's just kind of everywhere. So this is what we are going to be doing, is working with that type of energy. And we tend to stockpile certain things that shouldn't be stockpiled in the wrong areas, okay? So we're going to be combining that, as I said, with meditation and visualization. So let's see. All right, so we'll just go ahead and start. I'll just kind of show you what I do. And again, this is not any traditional technique. I'm not a Reiki master or anything like that. These are just sort of spontaneous things that just sort of came to me in contemplation or meditation, that sort of thing. And I'm hoping it might help you. So in watching this video, you can do the things along with me, but I feel like they should be individual to you. Okay, so this will be a good, useful video for structure, and maybe you can take this and run with it and kind of do your own thing kind of deal. All right, so basically, again, the purpose of this is to get rid of clutter and the negative thoughts that we may be holding on to about things, memories, or people, that kind of stuff. So the way I usually start off something like this is, I'm sitting cross-legged now, but you don't have to. You can just sit up straight in a chair. Just make sure, I'm slouching because I'm trying to speak into the camera, but you want to sit up very straight when you do this, with palms out, resting on your knees or your lap, just as long as your palms are out so that you can receive energy, okay? And the best thing to do is to just take a few minutes and do a few deep breathing type exercises. You can do it for as long as you want. For the sake of this, we'll do it 4 times, okay? So what I like to do is breathe in, hold, and then breathe out. When I breathe in through my nose. My stomach expands, not my chest, my stomach. I breathe that deep, okay? I hold it, and then I release it. You can release it through your nose, through your mouth, however you like. So we'll go ahead and start with that. We'll just take 4 deep breaths right now. So let's just palms up and up straight, and relax and breathe in. And out. And you can really release it. Okay? Breathe in. Out. It's not Lamaze. It feels like it though, I bet, for some of you. Okay, breathe in. Out. And last one. All right. Out. Okay. All right. So we do the deep breathing exercise first. Okay. Now, kind of the next thing to do is, this is where you would, I wouldn't be talking. I would just continue doing that, just kind of slowly breathing, trying to bring my breath to a nice, good, calm pace. The whole time, my eyes would be closed. And when I meditate, and I've talked about this in my meditation video, but I'll just go over it real quick. I like to just close my eyes, and I kind of aim my vision like upward towards the center of my forehead. Not like, I don't strain my eyes and I don't cross my eyes or anything like that. I just kind of aim for the center of the forehead with my eyes closed. I don't look up like that. I just keep my head straight. So I'm looking right here as my eyes are closed in this area. And then I like to just picture something very serene. So if it's the beach you like, palm trees, white sand, that sort of thing, nice little breeze, sunshine, or perhaps you like the forest, the deep forest and lots of trees and maybe a lake, something like that that is very serene and calming to you. So typically at this stage, that would be the state you would continue to go on with. So you would kind of do your bigger deep breaths and then just kind of nice slow breathing as you have your eyes closed and your gaze up here, and you're thinking of just kind of nice serene things. So I would sit with that for like a little bit, maybe a few minutes, whatever you're comfortable with. Okay, this is all natural and spontaneous, whatever you kind of want to do with it. And at that point, what we want to do now is we want to enter our brain, okay? Because again, this particular video is just on relaxing the brain and cleaning out the clutter and the negative stuff, okay? So, I mean, there's a lot of other things you can do, but that's what this particular video is for. All right, so at this point, we did the deep breathing, then we would kind of focus on our serene setting, that kind of deal, just get really relaxed, and now we would enter into our brain. So our eyes are closed, and we want to just this is the visualization part. You want to visualize your brain, okay? And chances are, when you close your eyes and you visualize your brain, it's really big and it's pretty close to, your skull, and it's probably full of a lot of stuff, okay? So what we want to do is, metaphorically, we want to see our brain as having all kinds of little doorways, okay? Lots of doors, because that's, in a sense, kind of the way the brain is. There's all this stored information in all of these doors, right? So we want to close our eyes, and we want to kind of like picture ourselves like walking down this labyrinth of hallways. And as we are doing that, we want to open the doors, okay? And we want to see what's there. For instance, you might kind of open the first door and it maybe looks like the garage in your real house, just like a whole bunch of things piled up, that really don't serve any purpose, but they're just kind of there, So, you might have some doors like that where it's just like stuff tumbling out and just a whole bunch of just clutter in your visions. You might open another door and it just feels dark, maybe it feels, maybe it's sparse, and it just feels like there's a lot of dust and cobwebs in it. Generally, if you kind of run across that kind of imagery, that's usually for a reason, because it is the dark stuff that needs to be cleaned out. It's got cobwebs on it and dust. It's things like maybe some weird childhood memory or moment that maybe another kid said something mean to you or something. So like that's in that room, you know, and just sitting there, you know, with the door closed and collecting dust and cobwebs. So you get the idea of where I'm going with this, right? So maybe there's some other things. Maybe there's some current things in your life. Maybe there's some, you know, some problems at work or problems in a relationship or something. Those are all behind those doors. So you want to visualize yourself walking through, you know, again, this labyrinth, you know, through your brain and just opening these doors, okay? So the ones that are the clutter and things like that, those are going to be pretty easy to deal with. But the other ones that just have this kind of more darker connotation, those are the ones you want to pay attention to. Now, when you're doing this for yourself, because again, this is more of an instructional video, like we're not necessarily doing all this stuff right now, although, you know, we can kind of do it as we're talking about it. But the darker ones, what you want to do, because you'll have your eyes closed and you'll be doing this, and if you run across one that feels just heavy or something, even if you can't pinpoint what it is, what memory it is, or what the situation is, it just doesn't feel like a good door, then what you want to do as you're meditating is you want to see if there's anything, because your palms are still up, if there's anything particular that your hands just kind of gravitate towards, okay? So for instance, you know, a lot of, I'm not sure about men, I'm not really sure like where it might build up with them, but for like women, like we might feel things like around this area. We might feel things kind of more like at the sides of our body, sometimes the back of our body. It can be sometimes just kind of more along the side of the head. You know, it can be anywhere, an arm, you know, whatever your hands kind of want to gravitate to once you hit this particular door where you just don't feel good about it. Just pay attention if you feel a certain area that your hands just want to go to. Let's just say, for instance, because since this is in frame, let's say, for instance, it's around in this area. What you want to do is you want to just, this is more kind of the Reiki type stuff. You just want to kind of grab it and fling it away from you. Now that does not make it disappear. We'll get to that later because that just puts it in the same room, but it's you're taking it away from you. And I'll explain that part later. But the thing is, you don't want to actually grab your body, your skin, because what we're not dealing necessarily with the physical body with this. We are dealing with the energetic body. So you want to come close to your, and it's okay if you touch your body by accident. It doesn't mean you ruined anything. But you want to just like kind of come close to the area, and like you're scooping it up and flinging it out, okay? So it's like, you know, if it's here, you know, you just kind of like, and it will actually feel like heavy in a like imaginary sense, and you kind of just fling it away, okay? So that's when you come across those like really kind of dark rooms. So as you are opening doors, you may find that all of a sudden you just feel like you want to fling something away, okay? So you want to keep going through the doors. Just open quite a few, you know, just until you get bored of it and see how it goes. And you can even put things in the doors. So if there is, like I said, like you're having a problem maybe at work or in a relation, you know, there's an issue in a relationship, you can see that issue in the door as you open it and then feel where it is and release it, okay? So that's the intent. So also what I think is a very good idea, after you kind of fling something away, is to still be in your brain in that doorway that you've just opened and you've just flung the stuff away. Now open a window, okay? There's a window in the room in your brain, all right? Let's just pretend. This is like pretend like when we were kids, right? We got to get the imagination going. So you just want to like open the window and you just see the sun coming in and the light. So, oops, you know what? I forgot to pull up my, hold on one second. Okay, let me do that real quick. Oh, sorry. Hang on one second. All right, and oops, sorry. Close up. Well, I can do that in a little bit. Okay, so you want to open a window so the sunlight can come in and kind of bring light into the doorway. All right, because it's been stagnant and dusty and stank and, all those things. For the clutter, like if you find a doorway with a lot of clutter, just see it kind of dissipating and that sort of thing, because that's easy to kind of imagine. All right. So now that we've done that, we've, flung things away, we've opened up a lot of doors. Leave the doors open, by the way. We want to leave them open. Now it's time for the power wash, okay? Because, we've opened the window, the light is streaming into all of our rooms now, because the thing is, it's kind of the same scenario as you've probably heard that where like people who that old thing, like where people give a lot of love. Like there's a lot of people who they just give and they give to their family, they give to their partners, they give to their coworkers. They just keep giving and giving and giving, but pretty soon, like if they're not receiving anything back, they get really drained. And that's kind of the same thing that we are doing with the brain, because the brain just keeps taking and taking and taking information and information and information. And it's like if we don't show it some love, and I mean, we do all these other types of cleanses for our body. We do things for our heart, other organs and things like that. But how often do we just take a moment to like even just relax our brain or think about like really clearing it out? So this is a really good exercise to do. So what we want to do is clear out things so that we have room for new ideas and new things to come in to inspire us. Okay, so out with the old, in with the new kind of scenario. So we've opened our doors, we've gotten our things, we've flung our stuff, we've opened the window, the light's coming in. So now is a time, and again, the whole time you're like in a more meditative state with your eyes closed and all of this. So now it's time to power wash the brain. And I say that like with vigor, because you've got to imagine it with vigor. You've got to imagine, like, I mean, think of like when they power wash like the side of a house or something like that, and there's this extreme of water and that sort of thing. So what we want to do now is imagine that this light is coming in kind of the back where the head meets the neck kind of is a really good area to imagine things kind of. I'm sorry, let me get down a little lower so you can kind of see where I'm saying, but kind of imagine a light coming from up above down into the back, that crown section of your head. Okay, that's not necessarily like super important. I mean, some people like to imagine it coming in just directly from the top to the center, like into the center of the top of the head. Okay, so either or is fine, but you just want to imagine this power wash type moment going on in your brain, and it's coming in, and it's hitting like all of the corners, all of the cobwebs, all of the little details of the room, and it's just sweeping all the dust and the dirt out. You can maybe visualize this like pool of like kind of dirty water on the ground, kind of making its way into a spiral down a drain. Like all that murkiness and cobwebs and all that kind of stuff is just being cleansed and going down a drain. Okay, so you can kind of just use that visualization, right? So stick with that for a while, and then now we kind of have to deal with the energy that we just happen to randomly and spontaneous fling across our room, and not a metaphorical room, our real room, because we're sitting in the room, and just because we flung it away doesn't mean that it's still not there, right? It's a little bit away from you right now. So what you want to do then after you finish like the power wash kind of phase is basically kind of envision yourself in a sphere, basically a sphere of energy that's all around you from all sides. You're in this like big ball, let's just say, of nice, great energy, okay? So what you want to do now is sort of just start pushing outward to expand your sphere, okay? So, and push downwards too, because that sphere doesn't just end at the floor, it goes underneath you, and it goes behind you, and it goes up above, so you want to push it up and away, and just start expanding, like even like feel yourself like pushing the air, the energy field around you, so that you have like this nice kind of protective sphere, basically. Okay, the energy that you have flung all around the room, we're going to deal with that now. And the way I deal with it is, it's just kind of something I use that isn't really meant for that, but that's what I've adapted it to. And it's something that I used to go to SRF in Los Angeles, Self-Realization Fellowship in Los Angeles. Occasionally, I wasn't like a super dedicated person, although I love the books and stuff like that. But I would go occasionally to hear their meditation or something like that. And afterwards, they had this thing that they would do where they rub their hands together and they send off energy to the planet and so forth. So I basically use that, but in a way to cleanse my room, my real room. All right, not metaphoric room, my real room. Okay, so after you've done this sort of power wash and stuff, what you want to do is take your hands and rub them together like pretty furiously. You want to feel the friction and the heat coming out, okay? And as you're doing this, you want to think of everything that you flung, out from you, that negative type, sludgy type energy. You want to be thinking about it dissipating and transmuting into cleaner, fresher air or chi or whatever you want to imagine it of. So we rub our hands together very, very like strong. You'll feel the heat, but you wait till you really, really feel the energy and that you've got that visualization in your head, and then you push that out, and you push it out like strong, okay? And think about that, and that it's transmuting and dissipating, okay, and into something much nicer and freer, okay? So you're releasing it, basically. All right, so then there's 3 of these. So then the second one is, so you've cleansed your room. So now the second thing is to think about like your family or your loved ones or your friends, people that you care about and that you have a lot of love for and you want to do well and things. And that's your second one. So you rub your hands, furiously, and what you are intending. You're intending love and healing and beautiful energy to the ones that you love. Okay, so you do that. I'll think of usually I think of like my family, my son, friends, things like that. But right now, like I'll think of you guys, because it's kind of like, right now while I'm doing it, it's kind of like, you're my family. So I'll do that. And then you push that out, okay, and you push that energy away, to them, okay, as well, with good positive energy and love. All right, then the third one, I'm sure you can probably guess, is universal love. So we just take that all a big step further. So we started with our room, and really you can start with yourself too, yourself and your room, okay, and then you start with your family and your friends, and then the last one, of course, is universal, and like every single living creature, all right? And we think of just that universal love that we want to put out there in a broad, big, gigantic sense, and then we send that out as well. Okay, so that can kind of be like your ending, you're done, you're finished, that sort of thing. So that is one technique that I use. It took a while to describe it, but if you're actually doing it for yourself, it can go pretty quick, and you don't have to make it so long and dramatic. If there's just like one issue bothering you, you can kind of go into that door, find that door and open that window, power wash it, release it. Now, it's not like it's just going to make things go away or anything like that, but you're providing space and room, for other inspirations to be able to come through that can hopefully guide you to solving or resolving what these things are. So, okay, so let's see. I'm going to turn on my chat if I can, because I feel bad. I didn't see if I saw some comments and I couldn't tell, but hold on. and I can't find the volume on this. I'm using a different computer. My computer just shut down a few days ago while I was on vacation in the middle of videos, which is why there we go. There's my sound. Which is why I couldn't get all of the October videos out yet. Hold on, let me just. Oh, that's okay. I don't know how to pull it up. Oh, shoot.
Which is why.
Hold
there
on.
we go. There's my sound. Which is why I couldn't.
It is so annoying to hear your voice back. Hey. Hi, 10 Scorpius. Oh my God, 10 Scorpies. I've been calling you forever. Anyway, I don't know. Let me know if you guys liked this or why. I just thought it would be interesting, and I got a lot of these like weird kind of things that I do. So exactly. Lots of different techniques I've got a lot of techniques for getting rid of negative things. Let's just put it that way. I mean, because I have a lot of negative things that happen. Hey, Tarot by the Teacup. Oh, cool. All right, right on. I'm really liking your channel, by the way. I watched your latest Scorpio video again. You had one and you had another, so it was all really good. Oh, right on, Emma. Thank you. What was I saying? Yeah, so negative practice I have had. I just have a lot of, oh, you're quite welcome. And let's see. Yes, all right. I couldn't see the name. I'm sorry. The comment just disappeared. What was I saying? Yeah, because the thing is, like, people ask me a lot, like, wow, you seem like you're pretty happy all the time, And I do. I laugh a lot, and I am. Oddly, I'm pretty happy most of the time, and honestly, I really shouldn't be because I've got a lot of stuff, right? So that's what I say. I have a lot of practice dealing with negative things or issues or obstacles and stuff like that. So I have a lot of different techniques for that, and that is how I stay smiling and relatively happy. So if you're interested in them, I will keep sharing them. Oh, there it is. Okay, is it Mar or I can't see because I can't bring up my super chat. Darn it! And your comment like comes on and then it disappears. But hey, I'll check out the feed after. You would like to be happier? Yeah. All right. Well, it really is. I don't know. I mean, it is kind of an art. It really is. I'll talk about that. Actually, maybe that'll be my next video. Thank you. Note time for this old lady to go to bed. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, it is getting near bedtime. So I'll probably wrap this up, and keep it short and all that. But yeah, so I'm gonna probably do a couple other videos. I'll do one on how to be happy because there are techniques. it actually can be done. So anyway, all right, guys, thanks for hanging out, and hope you enjoyed this. All right, bye.